Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're embarking on a really powerful deep dive into just one source. It's titled Excerpts from the Empty Chair.
A very striking title.
It is. And our mission really is to sort of pull out the insights here about human connection, maybe regret, and, the cost of our priorities sometimes.
Yeah.
The story centers on a man named Mr. Thompson. He is elderly, a retired war veteran living in this quiet Oregon neighborhood.
Okay.
And every single evening, he'd sit out on his porch just looking at an empty chair next to him.
Ah.
Always set up, but never used.
Huh. Just an empty chair.
Exactly. And you could imagine this quiet little ritual, it definitely got the neighbors curious.
I bet. It's amazing how something so simple, just an observation like that, can hint at something much deeper, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the story really kicks off when this kid, Jamie, he's 12, just moved in next door.
Right.
He actually works up the courage to ask what everyone's thinking. He goes up and says, Sir, why do you always keep that chair out, waiting for someone?
The directness of a kid, huh?
Totally. And Mr. Thompson's answer, it sets up everything. He tells Jamie, yes, I'm waiting for someone I never truly appreciated when I had the chance.
Wow. Okay. Heavy.
Yeah. And Jamie, naturally assumes maybe his wife.
Makes sense.
But Mr. Thompson shakes his head. No, he says, it was my son.
His son.
Yeah. He then paints this picture. His son used to sit right there every evening after school, talking about his day, his dreams, silly jokes.
Just sharing his life.
Exactly. But Mr. Thompson admits, I was always too busy, too tired, too
Yeah.
proud. He actually says he thought discipline was more important than just listening.
Oh, that hits hard. Too busy, too tired, too proud. How often do we fall into that trap?
It resonates, doesn't it? It's often not like malicious intent, but it
Yeah.
just slowly chips away at the connection.
Precisely. And it often comes down to these seemingly small moments, doesn't it? Like the words we choose.
You're leading right into the most heartbreaking part.
Yeah.
He remembers the last thing he ever said to his son.
What was it?
He told him, grow up and stop being so sensitive. Yeah. And after that, his son slammed the door and never came back.
Just gone after those words. That's devastating. It really highlights how things we say, maybe in frustration or based on some idea of toughness, can just build these huge walls.
Yeah, and echo for a lifetime. We focus on what we think matters, like discipline, and miss the actual foundation being present, listening.
The unseen cost, like you said earlier, it's profound.
So the narrative doesn't end there, thankfully, or perhaps tragically, depending how you look at it. Jamie, with that kid-like innocence again, he asks the question.
Did he ever see him again?
He did. Mr. Thompson nods and says, years later, in a hospital,
Oh, no.
his son was sick. Cancer. Stage 4.
Wow. So they did reconnect, but under terrible circumstances?
Exactly. And here's the really crucial part. Mr. Thompson says, he forgave me.
Okay. That's something. A relief in a way.
But then he adds, but I never forgave myself.
Ah. That distinction, that's incredibly powerful, isn't it? External forgiveness is one thing, but that internal burden.
It's a different kind of suffering, maybe deeper. The weight he still carries.
Absolutely. And then Jamie does something, well, quite remarkable.
Unexpected, yeah. He just
Yeah.
sits down on the empty chair.
He just sits in it.
Yeah. Mr. Thompson is surprised, obviously asks him, what are you doing, kid?
Then what does Jamie say?
Jamie just smiles and says, give your son a break. Maybe someone else can fill the space he left, even if just for a moment.
Wow. Just, wow. What an incredibly empathetic, almost healing gesture from a 12-year-old.
The source says the old man's eyes teared up. You feel the weight lift just a tiny bit, maybe. The power of someone just being there.
Yeah. A simple act of presence.
So this whole story from the empty chair, it really boils down to a core lesson for all of us, doesn't it?
It does. The explicit moral is stated right there. Don't wait to appreciate the people who love you. One day, the chair may still be there, but they won't be.
Simple, powerful. But digging deeper, the real insight might be why we wait. That friction Mr. Thompson named. Too busy, too tired, too proud.
Exactly. It's not just about remembering to appreciate. It's about fighting that internal resistance, that pull towards other priorities, towards our own ego sometimes.
It's about choosing presence, active listening, over just going through the motions,
Yeah.
recognizing the cost of not doing it.
Absolutely.